What's up, ladies and gents? This is Casey Kid, coming at you with another Destiny video. Today we're doing the Nightfall. It's the Blighted Chalice strike. We're going to go fight Malok. We're going to see if he gives us any loot for the Nightfall. We're going to see if he drops us any legendary hunter helmets, because those are his strike-specific gear. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button, and subscribe to the channel. Now last night, whenever we were doing the Nightfall, we were actually talking, and I think this is the third time that we've done this strike. And I also think that this is the first time that there hasn't been a burn. The very first week that it was out, I believe it had a void burn, and that made those Axion darts extremely deadly. The second time, I believe it was a solar burn, and that made his fire, as soon as it touched you, you were pretty much instantly dead. You had no chance, even if you happened to jump straight up in the air or tried to jump out of it, you were pretty much dead. So this is pretty much the first time, in my opinion, that we haven't had a burn. Now I could be wrong, but that's just what I'm thinking. But we do have small arms. So for my money, what I'm thinking your best option is a scout rifle. And here I am using my full auto Suros DIS-43, and that thing can really put out the damage. Whenever small arms is on, it means that your special and heavy weapons are going to deal out less damage, so if you have to fight anything, your best bet is definitely to use your primary weapon. And a scout rifle can hit really hard, and it can hit from very far away, so I figure I can put out a lot more damage on the boss from back here in this back room with my scout rifle. So I'm using this Suros DIS-43, and Devil Dog is using the good old hung jury with the triple tap and firefly option. Now you might notice that my shots seem like they're going all over the place, and that's because I'm jumping up and down, and that's because airborne is on, so you deal more damage when you're up in the air, and it's basically like double damage when up in the air. Now chances are I'm kind of evening out my shots because I'm probably missing almost half of them, though probably not exactly half. It really just depends. There is definitely a bit of a bloom and everything on your weapon whenever you continue firing it off, especially whenever you're firing it in full auto. Despite that, I'd still recommend trying to jump in the air as much as humanly possible. It's free damage. It's basically doubling your damage, so especially if you happen to have on a grenade that deals damage over time, something like the solar grenades on the Warlock, those are really nice to throw out and then start jumping up in the air and just let the ticks start doubling up in damage on the boss. It's free damage. All you have to do is jump up in the air, so it's pretty easy to go ahead and do that. Those are pretty much the things that are going to make the most amount of difference in this particular Nightfall. There's really nothing else that's just absolutely crazy against you. Obviously, as you can see, we have no radar. I don't typically find that to be much of a problem. Whenever it says that Malok is summoning his minions, that means you know you need to just stop and focus on these enemies in the back, at least if you're doing this backroom strategy. You really need to clear out these enemies so that you can pretty much get the taken essence off of this back platform and give you some room to work with. After that, clear off one of the blights, whichever is around the same area that Malok's in, whichever is the area that you're going to be firing in, because you're going to want to have your double jump, you're going to want to have your abilities. Just watch out, because as his health starts getting lower, it seems like he spawns off these orbs just a little bit more frequently. And if you're too focused on firing on Malok's head, you might miss these enemies spawning in behind you, and with their shields and everything going on, it could spell a wipe for your team. So that's why I have the Invective on. I have my scout rifle on for my main damage dealer, but I've got the Invective on because I know I need a close quarter weapon, and I feel like this is probably the best thing because I never have to worry about going and getting ammo. Even whenever I only have freaking 12 bullets in the magazine, I know I should typically have at least some Invective bullets so I can deal with that blight. It seemed like it was one magazine and the blight went down. And if you happen to finish that off, you can then pick off those spawning shielded enemies with the remaining bullets in your Invective. So it shouldn't really be all that tricky for you. Like I said, I think that this particular version of this Nightfall was probably the easiest that we've had so far. Not having a burn, again, it does hurt your damage output, but it also means that you're not going to get one-shot by a lot. Though you do have to watch out for these Axion darts. In fact, right here, unfortunately, Raph gets a little bit brave while those Axion darts are out there, and as he's trying to put off some shots on Malok, he ends up dying, and because he died, his bubble went away, and I was in a really bad situation. Thankfully, I have my Radiance. It's just one pop of the Radiance, and as we go and look towards his health, he's so low but I have to watch out for these Axion darts in my face. It's just a few more shots to take him down. You can see that I was dealing out roughly around 7,000 damage whenever I was jumping in the air, and if we happen to have a Titan bubble that has weapons of light, I was actually getting up over 10,000 damage per headshot when I was jumping in the air with the weapons of light. So that's pretty cool. And I'm just going to delete this blue Ingram just to see what my helmet is that's on the ground. And we can pick it up and take a look at this Hood of Malok. I did get it on my first time ever, so I do have this. This one, unfortunately, is 334 Intellect and Discipline. I'll have to take a look in the Destiny Item Manager just to see how its stats are, how it is comparable to whatever the potential max stats could be on this particular helmet. Now it's time for the good stuff, though. It's time to see what the Warlock got from the Nightfall, and we do not have high expectations at all. But we got an exotic, and we ended up getting ourselves a universal remote at 335, so this has definitely been the best thing that I've got from the Nightfall in quite some time. Though this is pretty awesome, taking him down on my hunter, I saw that I ended up getting a little bit of loot, and as soon as all the dust clears, take a look at that loot pile that I got from Malok. So we got 2 legendaries, and we can pick one up, and one is the Hood of Malok. A second one is a Sublime Ingram, and then an exotic Ingram from the 3 of Coins. So I got really lucky on my hunter kill, so that's not too bad at all. And as far as what the hunter got for the Nightfall rewards, he ended up picking himself up a Last Extremity. So this is a scout rifle that I really had no experience with. Unfortunately, it did not really have any stability perks, so I kind of already dismantled it. Finally, on my Titan, we end up getting ourselves, get ready for it, a Ghost Shell. It's the Nightfall, you've got to get a Ghost Shell whenever you do the Nightfall, so that's what I got for all 3 of my Nightfalls. What did you end up picking up? Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Nightfall, and I'll see you around in Destiny. Thank you so much for my ghost.